Hey, everybody, this is Pastor Devin Miller, the real pastor, the true pastor, bringing you yet another edition of Financial Matters. Why? Because financials matter. And we are going to be continuing our series with Miss Catherine Agada, who has been giving us some great information. And if you've missed it, go to our YouTube channel, Clear Faith Christian Ministries, and go to the live tab, and you'll see look under financial matters. But you can look at all the other videos too, because it might help you too. But go there and you'll see the current series that we're on right now. And just to give you a heads up, next month we will be bringing on Tracy Holloway, who is going to talk about the public relations side of entrepreneurship and the financial implications that go with it. Because not only do we just bring the financial piece, but even for entrepreneurs, there's a financial piece, and we want to be able to equip you not only with the information to take care of yourself and your family through insurance and investments and all of that. But there's the other side, which is how to take care of your business, because that is a financial matter as well, especially for entrepreneurs or those who are thinking to go into entrepreneurship. And so it's going to be real interesting and good information to come and see about the PR side of your business. If you're a small business, or you're a consultant, or you have a trade, and you're trying to market yourself, marketing is a part of the financial matters. You've got to have money to market. But there are ways in which you can do it that can be cost effective and be impactful in this digital age. And so Tracy will be with us on next month. And the following month, we're bringing on another analyst from a different perspective, because we have a lot of people that are in this arena of financial planning and financial analysis and things like that, but they all come from a different angle. And so the best way to be educated is to know all the angles and make the best decision. No one has one way. There are multiple ways to be successful financially. And what we try to do on Financial Matters is bring those opportunities to you so that you can make righteous decisions. Okay. So with nothing else to say, I won't say without further ado. I ain't got nothing else to say. So I'm going to bring on Miss Catherine, and we're going to get started talking about retirement. All right. So here we go. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bishop. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well for Wednesday. So
Great.
how are you doing today?
We bless God. It's been a
That,
beautiful day out here in Texas.
that's true. That's true. I've been looking out my window. I've been in like you know me. I'm in meetings, and so I'm glad I have a window so I can at least see other people enjoying the weather. Because it's still February. There are people are still dealing with snow, and we're dealing with sun. I'd
So
much rather
it's a
like this
blessing.
S than the other S. I like this S. Uh, so let's go ahead and get into our discussion for today, which is retirement. And the first question I'm going to ask is, give me your understanding and how you look at retirement. What is retirement? What should it be?
Thank you for having me one more time. Great question because retirement depends on who is retiring. There is no set time for retirement. I can decide to work hard and retire at 40. um Other people retire at their standard 65, 67, and I have seen people who go ahead to work till they drop dead just to keep
Right.
body and soul together. So retirement is being able to work only when you want to work. You are not being forced to leave the comfort of your home or what you have to do the time you need to start relaxing, playing with grannies. You are not at a liberty to do that. You only do that because you want to do that. So that's retirement. But having said that, retirement planning is a must, whether you want to retire at 40 or at 75 or 80. Because if you do not plan out your retirement, you are automatically not going to be able to retire, because once what you have or what you think you have runs out, you find yourself going back to working or compromising your lifestyle. So retirement is being able to not compromise your lifestyle because of lack of income gap.
Sure. Okay. And I've seen people on both sides of those spectrums. Those that have retired and have had enough money coming in that they could just do whatever they want and didn't have to go back to work. My dad was one of them. Before my dad passed, he invested in penny stocks, and I was like, when did you start doing that? He's like, oh, I started such and such a time, and every job that he had a pension. Back in when pensions were, good and people did what they were supposed to do with them. So he worked at American Motors, and then he went into insurance, and then he worked with SC Johnson and Son, and then he was forced to retire from them at 55. And then he took a little time, but not much time, because my dad didn't believe in letting grass grow underneath him. So he then went back to work and worked for the city of Milwaukee until he retired again at 70. So he had five streams of pensions coming in, plus Social Security, plus his investments, and, not that he lived a lavish life, but he lived a comfortable life.
That's
And when I talk to premarital couples in counseling and things like that are at the other spectrum of being young, I tell them you don't have to you have to plan for retirement, but don't look necessarily forward in your planning, meaning, "Oh, I got to get all this money in order to do that," because they put an unneeded pressure on themselves to get to a certain number. So with that being said, I've seen people on the other side who didn't have enough. Those are your no disrespect to Walmart people that are working, but those are your Walmart greeters, who didn't have enough and they had to go back to work at
exactly.
65, 70 years old. So is there an optimum number that you should strive for retirement? Is there a formula that you use to say, if you, because I've seen the charts and everything that say, you'll have this much at 60, you'll have this much at 65. But from your perspective and the people you work with about retirement, do you say there's an optimum number that they should have at a certain age, or is it just do as much as you can until you retire?
No, there is no optimum number. You know
Okay.
why? Because there are other things that influences that money
Okay.
that you are hoping to retire with.
Good.
The first question, if you're going to be retiring, what is your plan for the rising healthcare costs?
Okay.
It dips
Okay.
into the money, because many people will find out later on that the cost of long-term care, um, after they retired, a majority of them will have to be thrown back to them. So
Hmm.
it is into your retirement. The second questions you want to ask is, what happens to your retirement income plan or income if the market happens to drop 30% or 20 or 40 during your retirement age? You see, if you're planning on retiring in 5 years and the market dropped and take that number down, you are back to extending, going back to work. So it's not
Right.
really the particular number. And the last question I normally ask, also consider, is what is your income replacement plan to
Mm.
maintain an income for life? Because we are working, right? So every month, every paycheck or every month, I have something coming in.
Right.
But once that retirement hits and the income is no longer coming in, some people hopefully have enough savings or plan to
Hmm.
make up for the income gap. But this is the right time to find out the income gap that you're going to need to be able to sustain retirement. If not, you are probably not going to live at the same comfortable level lifestyle. You'll not be able to be traveling, or you go
Right.
back to work. Now, the reason again that the amount of money is not as important and as where you put that retirement money is that inflation also gets it into your retirement savings. I had
Okay.
a lady, a client actually. She's retiring with 1 million. She has 1 million to her name. That 1 million happens to be in her jobs 401k, right? Which is okay. However, the first thing, the first rude awakening is that the government wants 280,000 tax out of it, because you have to retire, you have to be taxed at your tax bracket when you retire.
Right. Right.
And 280, she was not expecting that, so that's one.
Yeah.
Then if she now, what to do with the remaining eight, seven something? Now, if she keeps it and not taking it, she could face with RMD, required minimum deposit. Otherwise, she start paying penalty. So she must take that money. But if she takes that money, where is the next place she could put it in order make to make sure she outlive that money, because that money could go fast.
Mm-hmm.
That 780 could go. She is one of those people that may face, if she live longer, she could face she could be met with income gap. So this is the right side. What retirement planning does for you, it uncovers where there is income gap. It
Okay.
makes sure you put the money in the right bucket where you cannot risk it at your retirement. The
Mm-hmm.
younger ones, one of the advantage they have is that they can still risk some of their money, right? While they're saving. But when
Right.
you are getting into retirement, where you put your money is as important
Mm-hmm.
as how much you made. Because
Right.
if you do not pull it, IRA, Roth, they're all market driven. So
Mm-hmm.
you could, in that retirement year, before or after, get hit with some downtime. But
Mm-hmm.
so there are retirement accounts that will offer you more. The S&P market offers, but without a downside risk. So you are sure that that 800 is yours. That's what I told her. I said, listen, they after paying this tax, I will advise you to put this money in annuity and turn it into an income for life product. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no more risk. She's no longer going to worry about the market. Two, she don't get paid anymore on those taxes
Okay.
because she already paid it.
Right.
And inflation, that money is not gonna, she's not gonna worry about inflation again,
Okay.
because annuity, you get at least 5% and up compound interest. So any accounts that gives, anywhere you place your money that gives you uh less than 3%, it's already like your checking account, saving account, CDs, those are inflation account. So planning is what matters in retirement. Being able to take what you have, calculate ahead of time what is social security going to be paying you when you retire, because right now I can put in the numbers for you and let you know what your social security, and then we see whereas you have your money, are they secured? Can you bring in some money to lock in your income based on whatever you want to retire with, because you're going to
Mm-hmm.
determine your retirement income.
Okay. Okay. So interesting. Today I was going through my email and I got a update on an annuity that I have that I didn't know I had.
Oh, good
um,
deal.
Now I'm not rich, so I didn't have a whole lot of money in it, but it was my 403b. Um, and so I haven't contributed to it. I haven't put any money in it. They just took what the school. It was when I was working for the school. Whatever I had accumulated while I was working for the school, it's just been sitting there. So let's take a real life scenario. Let's take
Okay.
me. What would you suggest I do with that amount? It's under $500 right now.
Under
Um,
$500.
yeah, and like I said, I haven't contributed to it. I forgot about it really, and because I didn't have anything to roll it into, because I've
Mm,
always worked for myself. Once I left the
mm.
school, I was an entrepreneur, so I didn't have anything really to put it in. So, what would you suggest I do with that annuity? Do I leave it there and start contributing to it, or is there a better way to plan for my retirement than just with that 403b?
Okay. First of all, we're gonna speak hypothetically because I would love to see if it's the grand clock annuity or if there
Okay.
is something better out there that
Okay.
you can roll over. Even though today's annuity, it many majority of the companies starts at 10,000.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
starts at 10,000. So if what you have right now, if you have an annuity that is 5,000, contributing to it
Hmm.
might be their best first option.
Okay.
Why? Because annuity is guaranteed protection.
Okay.
And me looking at it will also tell, because you may think you have annuity and it's not annuity, but
Okay.
you want, at this point and at this age, you want guaranteed protection in all your accounts,
Right.
including protection against inflation, really.
Inflation. Right.
So if that is an annuity bucket, you already know that you're not risking it out there in the market. It's not going
Hmm.
up and down. Then contributing on it to let it grow more
Right.
mm, will be your best
Okay.
option. And there's no
Okay.
tax, there's no penalty for you because it's already 7.5 to take it. However,
Hmm.
there is no tax on it while it's growing. You
Right.
only pay tax on annuity on the portion you take out. If you decide to
Gotcha.
take the whole 5,000 out, you pay the tax. If you decide
Gotcha.
to take $100, 1,000 every month, you only pay when you take out.
Got you. Got you. And how does the IRS collect? How do they even know you took it out? You know.
Of course, the management company, the
Okay.
insurance company, or they will, before you take that money,
Hmm.
they will
They
first,
take the.
exactly, they'll first you to
Okay.
pay
Okay.
right off.
So it's not up to the individual. It's the whoever holding it, whoever's holding your money will take the taxes out and then give you the balance.
They'll ask you though. They will ask you. Most
Oh,
of the time, their first option is to take it, but you
right.
can decide. Oh, I want it now. I'll file the tax, and
Okay.
then at the end of the year, they give you your
The form to pay the tax. Okay. Okay.
yes.
So you said so the optimum or the base number for most to get an annuity is about 10,000.
Yes, to start an
Okay.
annuity.
Okay. Now, are there other products or plans that you can invest in that are less than that? Say for the small business owner, startup, got a family, is thinking, okay, I need to really consider my retirement more than what my job has. What's that sweet spot?
Okay. Excuse me. First of all, I can tell you that having gone through all the financial principles of the wealthy or successful planning, I can tell you that it's only one bucket that I have seen everything aligning of for your good, including your
Okay.
retirement, and that's life insurance.
Okay.
But people don't consider life insurance as a retirement option, but it is a good retirement option, except
Okay.
if you will be putting in, a sizable money into it. When
Yeah.
you're putting in money into it, like I said, um, it's going to start accumulating for you
Mhm.
after they've deducted their premium for your life insurance.
Yeah.
The rest is tied into the market, but there's
Okay.
guarantees. So with life insurance, you could be putting in monthly, little by little, $100, 200, 500, a month, 1,000, depending on how much you can fit into your savings.
Right.
So that savings now, if you leave it there, because hopefully your your objective is to be able to have more money saved up for retirement. If you leave it
Mhm.
there, before you know it, the effect of compounding interest, your money is growing. And that's the one bucket that I know you can put in little at a time.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Other than that, then it's mutual funds, or you know, mutual funds. But those are only giving you um a steady growth,
mhm.
not much. Life
Okay.
insurance gives you more growth. Life
Okay.
insurance can give you up to 13% compounding.
Oh,
But while the mutual is only like 5% or less. And
okay.
exactly. And so that's one of, unless you want to go do money market, but you are not getting all the other benefits that comes to do with uh like tax free. You're not getting tax free benefit, but in life insurance you can still get a complete tax free benefit. You're getting
Right.
protection. You're getting health, also living benefit, which
Right.
is what people don't consider in their retirement. So, and that is why a lot of people do life insurance bucket to cover everything, because they still get their long term care living benefits added free.
Right. So two questions came to my mind. One, for the person that don't know nothing, what is compound interest?
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, "Well, your money will compound," and they'll be looking like you looking at you like deer, a deer in the headlights. You're like, "What is compound?" So, for the person that just don't know, what does it mean to say put your money someplace where it will be you'll get compound interest?
Okay. Compound interest is basically the interest that the financial institute, they give you interest on your principal, and the interest that you made, or the gains you made, which is the interest, they will also give you interest on interest. So it's interest on your principal and on your gains.
Okay.
Now the best way to understand compound interest is take a student loan. When we get student loan, after 5 years you're still paying on the principal.
Okay.
It's like you're paying, but it's not going anywhere, because you're only paying them the principals and
Right.
not the interest. The
Okay.
mortgage, it takes 10 years. If you start paying up a 30-year, the first 10 years almost is just paying on the interest. Sorry. Paying on the
Okay.
interest. You haven't started. That's why it takes a while. If you buy a mortgage for a house for 200,000, you end up paying 400,000.
Got
So
it.
the compounding effect, we're paying only interest. So when you have a compound interest account, if you and I invest 100,000, for the sake of rounding a number that I can remember, and
Mm-hmm.
you put your own in a fixed interest. Fixed interest is the your bank, your CD, your savings account, your checking account. At
Okay.
the end of 40 years, your 100,000 is going to net you $500,000. So 100,000 after 40 years is 500. Do you know what I will get if I put mine in a company interest account like life insurance or annuity? I am
Mm.
going to walk away with 4.5 million, but you are walking away with only 500,000.
Wow.
That's the company bet. Every year it doubles. Rule of 72.
Right.
It doubles. It doubles. It keeps doubling. Mhm. And it's only
Okay.
two places you can get compound interest: life insurance and annuity.
Okay, okay, okay. Because, like again, the purpose of our show is a lot of people just don't know this,
Yes,
and they're trusting the people that are trying to sell them the product. And of course, if you're not caring about the people, you're trying to upscale. You're trying to give them the biggest for the most so that your pocket gets good. And that's fine if that's the way you live. But because we live by kingdom principles,
exactly.
we always want to make sure that you're getting the best for you, not the best for the person that's selling it, but for the person that's receiving it. So, okay, so let's create another scenario. Let's say I'm let's say I'm 65 and I've been putting money away and I'm ready to retire, but I didn't look at the gap. So my question is, How do you determine the gap so that you don't have that gap when you retire?
Good, good question. The only way you can determine that is to plan. Talk to a financial person that can that does not market risk, because a lot of financial planners just ask you, oh, go dump your money in 401k. But how to determine gap actually is to go to Social Security website, or any of the websites that gives you um, uh, Social Security calculation. So
Okay.
if I sit with you, I put in your numbers, your age, when you want to retire, I will know how much Social Security is going to be giving you, right? So with
Right.
how much Social Security is giving you, I will take the into account the taxes that you're going to be paying, the what depend in the space that you want to retire. I will
Right.
take into account the inflation. So if I said, based on how much Social Security is going to be paying you, $2,000 a month, for instance, right? And I ask
Okay.
you, will you be able to live off of 2,000 a month? And you're like, no, because of course you know you have more. So we now said, okay, where then can we find income, money, to make sure that you put it away right now in the bucket that is going to guarantee you income for life. Assuming
Okay.
you say that you want to retire with 8,000 a month.
Okay.
So now I'll start. Okay, Bishop Mila, do you have any 401k? How much is the value? Do you have annuity? How much is the value? Do you have real estate? All these other assets. Then
Okay.
my calculation based on the system is going to say, for you to retire with 8,000 a month till the rest of your life, because we are solving for income until
Right.
you die, even if it's 120 years and you don't have enough income, the
Right.
system is going to say, I need you to pull in maybe 100,000, 200,000 from all these other places, fix it into your annuity income. Annuity is one of the tools that we use in doing this, because they give you income for life guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
So once you put in that money, this is not a new money, this is an old money. But if
Okay.
you have cash, if you want to take from your real estate asset, if you inherited money, however you want to get that 200 to fill up that gap, that
Mhm.
200, they will secure it for you and said, okay, because you now put in 200,000 in your bucket in annuity, Social
Mhm.
Security is going to be giving you 2,000. We are going to guarantee the rest of your income
Six
based on,
thousand.
yes, so they spread it out for you, taking into account inflation, taxes. They guarantee that income for life.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a matter
So
of being able to pull in your resources and put it in the right bucket, where
right.
they're not going to tell you at that point, pay this amount of tax, or at that point, oh, the market crash and you don't have it. So you want to put it up, put it so that you can lock your income right now.
Right. Okay. Okay. So now let's speak to the entrepreneur who has a small business, maybe a contractor, consultant, that kind of stuff, where your money kind of ebbs and flows, is based on people hiring you. How would you suggest they set up for retirement? Because they can't really say I can put a fixed number into something and make sure that I can do that every month, or make sure annually I'm putting this much away. What would be your advice for an entrepreneur
Good question.
or
The
sole
problem,
proprietorship or whatever?
yes, the problem with entrepreneurs or small business owners, so proper, is that they they focus on building and spending, because business requires you pay tax, you hire, you fight whatever, and the unpredictable income, right?
Hmm.
So they never see the need to save enough, and when they do, they still go and get that, because
Right.
it's at their reach, and
Yeah.
that they need to do what they need to do, and the
Right.
cycle goes on, and you find yourself working so hard and retiring with nothing. So the best place to start again, they
Life
it
insurance.
start with the life insurance bucket.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because life insurance automatically protects you. what if you stop working today as a result of illness?
Mm-hmm.
Already you didn't have enough money saved up right there. And
Right.
if cash is no longer coming in, you're already crippled
Yeah.
before we start talking about retirement. But
Right.
if you start with whatever you can afford or making an intentional, because again, if you're starting late, you have to be intentional. You have
Yeah.
to deny yourself some things.
Right.
Why would you keep spending a lot of money on eating out, on coffees, if you know you are not able to save?
Mm-hmm.
Cut those things, put it in a life insurance account so that you are forced to save. Because life
Right.
insurance now is a saving tool,
Sure. Sure.
because you're not going to have to go and take it next day. Then, when that happens, you are building cash for retirement over time. You already secured your health costs, long term
Mm-hmm.
care. You are building a no tax free retirement. So remember the lady that paid 280,000 in
Yeah.
tax. Can you imagine if that money, that 1 million, was in life insurance, she won't pay nothing, zero.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
so because people don't have the knowledge of what life,
Right.
that's why they don't do it. Because
Right.
if you know what it is, you will see it makes sense. It's one
Mm-hmm.
tool that makes sense. Initially, it may be uh, should I say bitter, because you're putting out this money. You are forced, maybe based on age, and because life insurance premium is determined by age,
Right.
the health, and everything. So maybe you are forced to be putting out $500 a month, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not worth it, because you're putting it out for to a savings that is already guaranteed that you never lose that money when it start
Mm-hmm.
growing. You are
Mm-hmm.
putting it out knowing fully well that you will never have to worry about paying taxes on those money.
Yeah.
It already, because it has a high compound interest, there's no inflation in that inflation, and you're putting it out because you also want, if not anything happens to you, your family can get paid out.
Right.
So you're
Right.
building with one block many facets. It's a complete protection,
Mm-hmm.
investment, retirement, health. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it, but it is a
Yeah.
good. And you can ask me about the life insurance, because it's not every life insurance packet, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So with that, with what you just said, and let me say hello to Lady Virgo. She's popped in and glad to see you. And she says hello to you as well. She's from the East Coast. That's my East Coast.
Oh.
Um, so with that, let's use the last minutes that we have to talk about retirement and life insurance, because that seems to be the most practical and pay as you go type deal. So my question is, oftentimes when people look at life insurance, the person who is selling it to them will tell them, okay, for $500,000 in coverage, I'm just using that number, you pay this amount. You pay that monthly, auto pay, whatever. Um, Two questions. One, as you had said last week, life insurance today is not like life insurance we thought before. So you can actually use it while you're living without interfering with when you die. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I was listening. I was listening last week.
Yes, you are living benefit.
So, okay, living benefits. Okay, so that's where I was going with the question. Two things you said: it's good for retirement because it's tax free, and you can pay based on your budget or based on how much coverage. So talk about what life insurance is now as a living benefit, because that seems to be the push that I've seen, social media, advertising, and things like that, really emphasizing get life insurance because you can use it while you're living.
Yes.
So how does that work?
Okay, the living benefit part of life insurance is just an extra benefit. They call
Okay.
it a rider. If some term life gives you living benefit now as opposed to before. So the living benefit means if you have any of the terminal, critical, or chronic illness disease, chronic, you're not able to do two of the daily living activity, life insurance can come and um come and fund you,
Okay.
refund you, or give you some of your life insurance money to take care of it yourself. They don't have to wait till you die anymore to give it to your beneficiaries. Now, Mr. A has cancer, Mr. A needs treatment, Mr. A has to pay his bills, Mr. A has to travel to go get the best care. Hey, how much of this do you need? Up to 90%. So if you have 500,000, they can advance you 350,000 upfront without you. With that money is not going to the insurance company or to the hospital. It's your money. You go
Mm-hmm.
take care of it. So many
Wow.
people become richer, God forbid, in the God forbid situation. Yes,
Right.
so that is the living benefit part.
Okay.
Even in term life right now, you can get it, even though it's going to cost a little bit more, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
But term life will not give you retirement benefit because term life does not have cash accumulation benefit. Cash
Okay.
accumulation means that you are now growing the money, which you
Right.
can go and take tax free.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that money, if you leave it there in the long run, you can use it for your retirement. So
Okay.
the only thing that term life does is to protect you against death. So if you die, the family gets the money. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have the living benefit portion of it, which is the extra right there, you can still be taken care of in illness. But that's about it. But index universal life insurance is the one that can help you with your retirement growth. The
Mm-hmm.
savings is there. You can even go and borrow from that money
Good.
while
Okay.
your money is still growing, while you are still accumulating money.
Right.
And because it is your money, if you take it and if you don't pay it back, when you die, they will give the beneficiary whatever that you left behind, the death
Okay.
benefit, yeah, whatever that,
So they're gonna get their money back. They're gonna.
exactly, exactly. And
Okay.
also, the protection part of they don't have to go through probate court is unparalleled because many
Right.
people don't know what they have to. People have to suffer when they lose the breadwinner and
Yeah.
everything is frozen up in the court system.
Right.
So
Right.
when I advocate life insurance for retirement, it is because you ask the question for the people that don't have a lot of money to go invest. If
Mm-hmm.
you can say, okay, let me take it to the stock markets, crypto, all those things. Fine for
Right.
you, but what if the market crash? What are you? Where is
Right.
your money?
Right. Right.
Yes, you're responsible for it. And then what about the tax? When the tax grow higher, you're responsible for it. So you
Yeah.
cannot predict your retirement income. The only place to predict your retirement income is to put it away in a guaranteed bucket like annuity. Very,
Okay.
very predictable. It has guaranteed you will never lose that money, and
Mm-hmm.
the spread is going to help you to grow your income faster, you
Right.
know. But with life insurance, if you want to start slow, if you don't have 10,000 to start, start from there. Force yourself to be contributing something every month so you can have
Mm-hmm.
something to turn back to.
Okay. Okay. And the other part of, oh, okay, so that was the question. So if I have, again, I'm using the number 500,000 as a life insurance policy, and does you are you only able to borrow against it if for illness, or can you do it for anything?
You're not even borrowing against it for illness. For illness, they will give it to you. They
Okay.
will give you that portion of your debt benefit that is enough to take care of you. They're not going
Okay.
to give you everything, but
Right.
you can get up to 90. Yeah. But for you to borrow for any other thing, yes, but only on the cash accumulated from the
Okay.
interest. Yes.
Okay.
So,
So you're not getting it on the total, you're getting on what
no,
you've accumulated.
exactly.
Okay. Okay. Because when I was running my nonprofit, I had State Farm insurance, and I was paying every month, and it was cash accumulating. And we had a emergency come up, and my insurance agent said, "Well, Devin, you can borrow against your policy. It's just like you said, it's just based on what you paid in." I was like, "I thought this was for when I died."
No.
You know, and he's like, no, Devin, we have this that you can use while you're living. So that was back in the 90s, you
Mm,
know, that they were doing it.
mm.
Um, and so, you know, so I always knew that you could, but I didn't know where
Yes.
it was coming from. You know, he said cash accumulated, but I'm thinking, okay, my cash accumulation is for my total policy. So am
No,
I
it
borrowing against my policy or am I borrowing against what I put in?
you're against the growth of your
Okay,
policy. So if you're putting in $500 every month, the entire $500 is not going to towards your debt benefit. It's not. I mean, it's
right.
not going towards your 500,000 full. Some of it is to so
A
that they can
portion of it.
insure you. The
Right.
rest they invest it for you in an S&P market
Gotcha.
index. It index they can only guarantee it will grow, but
Right.
when the market fall, they freeze
It
it so you
won't.
can never lose that money. So you're borrowing
Gotcha.
against that interest, that compounding
Gotcha.
interest.
Okay. So
Yes.
either way, there's compound interest.
Yes.
Okay. But when you want to take some of it, they only take it off of the money that you put in that has
Yes.
gained compound interest.
Exactly. The gain.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are 4 minutes away. I think we've exhausted all the thoughts that I could think from all different perspectives. I will talk to you about that annuity. I definitely will. I'll send you the information that they sent me today, so you can look at it and then advise me on what I need to do. Because you know when I hit 60, I said I got a good 15 more years, I think, before I think about retiring. And at that point, it'll only be a thought. I may go another 10,
Yeah,
you
as long
know.
as we're alive. Yes.
Exactly. I'm not feeling too bad right now. I just got a little catch in my back. That's about it.
Yes.
Um, but I think, you know, it's important for us to know how to make our money work. Because a lot of us, especially in our communities, we get caught in what our parents said or what friends are saying and things like that, and we're not getting the information for ourselves. And that's really the essence of why we do this show, so that it is something that you can go back to. You know, when it's time for you to do it, YouTube don't go nowhere unless somebody buys them out. So, you know, it's important that we get this information, and it doesn't. And what I want people to walk away with is it doesn't matter where you are in life.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people say, well, you know, I'm in my 50s. I'm just going to have to work till I die. No, you don't. You can start investing right now at 50. You know, I mean, kids, young people, I tell them, look, don't go get the Lamborghini and the Porsche and all of that. Just get a decent car, you know, a little bit above your pay grade, just so you feel good. But the rest of it, put someplace and let it start working for you, because the more years it works, the more years it works. You
Yes.
know, if
Yeah.
I would have known at 30 and 40 what I'm learning at 50 and 60,
Yes.
I'm missing 20 years. That money could have been compounding and no telling where it would be, you know,
Yes.
if you have the discipline. And that's the key too. Delayed gratification. You
Exactly.
know, when they send you that statement and you see that number, don't think, you know, Cancun or, you know, I can go to Italy. Just think I can go to Florida and have a nice vacation and let that money grow, because that's what
Exactly.
it's about.
If many people are to take their child's credit and put it in a life insurance for that child, by the time the child is ready to retire, the child is retiring a millionaire. The problem is that
Mm,
some people are still thinking that Social Security will be able to retire you. No,
right,
sir, no, ma'am. The Social
right,
Security will not retire us, and that is when that income gaps comes in, and you go back to work.
right,
Again, it takes discipline, like you said, to be able to put away a little bit. But we cannot put away savings. We cannot save our way to retirement on an
right.
ordinary account.
Bank account. Yeah,
Exactly. We cannot do that.
yeah,
So that's why annuity accounts, IUL accounts, they force you to lock your money and they start growing it for you at a speed, at a compound speed, which you're not going to get in a bank, and
right.
which the market is not going to give you. Because if the market takes hold of that money, it's fine. It could grow, but again, it could. you are risking it. So
Right. Yeah. And the other thing, got 2 minutes. The other thing is, don't get excited about what the market is doing now. Everybody in the news, even Pam Bondi's silly self, the Dow was at 50,000%. So what? It can go down. It can crash tomorrow. Because a lot of it is fluff. It's AI and all these things that
yes,
can drop in a hat. Same thing that happened with the Bitcoin, boom, and cryptocurrency and all this kind of, flashy stuff. The flash ain't it. Go put your money in America in General Motors. They're always going to be making cars no matter what. And so you got to be mindful even in the stock market and not go for the flash and the cash now, but it's for the long term. Who's got the longevity? Who's been here
diversity.
since before?
Diversification also comes into place. Even if you
Yes,
want to put your money in the stocks or whatever, but please do not go and put all your money because you want a fast return.
fast return. Yeah.
They'll put away something. There's a rule of 60/40. Put away
Okay.
something in an account that no matter what, when you come back in 20 years, that money has grown. That money is not going anywhere.
Right.
No stories, no taxes.
Sure. Sure. Okay. All right. Well, Catherine, thank you so much again. Such a wealth of knowledge that our community needs, because that's what we're focusing on. And so I think when we come back together, this is our third show.
Yes,
Okay, so our fourth show, our final show, is really a wrap up,
yes,
of what we've covered, what you would suggest, and then how people can get in touch with you. Because I don't do this just to give information. I do this because you should give where you got your information is where you should put your money. Okay, so it's a shameless plug for Catherine Agada, to build her business, but build her business based on knowledge. It's
yes.
not building it just because I got nice shiny things for you to buy. So we're going to talk about the products, the different products that are out there, what yields and what doesn't, what your recommendations are, and give a recap of everything that we've covered, and then how people can get in touch with you. Will be what we'll cover on next week. All right.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. So thank you again. I appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Thank you.
All
Goodbye.
right. Take care. All right, folks. That was Miss Catherine Agada, who is a financial educator as well as analyst that wants to make sure that you do well with your money. Because why? Because financials matter. And so until next time, may God's richest and greatest blessings be yours. If you're not busy tonight, join us for Bible study. We'll be on at 8:30 tonight. And we're teaching from the book written by J.I. Packer entitled Knowing God. We are in the final chapters. So if you've missed us up to this point tonight, stay on our YouTube channel, become a subscriber, and then go to our live tab, and you'll see all the videos that we have that are at your disposal. Also, yours truly has written 4 workbooks that are currently on Amazon.com. The first one is how to build and maintain healthy relationships. It's a kingdom blueprint on building and establishing relationships of all kinds. It's not just spiritual, but it's natural as well. And then we have a 3-volume series or set that's entitled Lead Like David, Serve Like Jesus. And it's a leadership development series that starts from workbook 1 that deals with the foundation of leadership. Workbook 2 is how to maintain healthy leadership. And then workbook 3 is really dealing with legacy. We just lost an icon in the civil rights movement of Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson. May he rest in power. And the good thing is that he was a giant in what he did. The not so good thing is who's going to come behind him. Who's going to continue the legacy that he established? The good, the bad, and the in between. But who's going to continue the torch? We ran into that with the people that I got it behind me. Who carried on after King? Who carried on after Malcolm? There was no legacy. The dream died with the dreamer. The nightmare continued after the one who recognized it, Malcolm, said that we're living in a nightmare. And when these two came together, where was somebody chronicling their thoughts so that we could continue in the movement? That's something to think about, and that's why I wrote the books. So please go to Amazon.com and get a copy of all four of them because they're going to help us do what we need to do for our community. I think about it as well with my sons. I try to pour into them so that my thoughts continue, that they don't die with me. The way I do things, that they start to emulate and imitate the things that I do that are good. Now, I don't want them to do the bad stuff, but they do the good stuff because that's what we as fathers are supposed to do. Pass on our knowledge to the next generation. That's what community leaders are supposed to do. Pass on the knowledge to the next generation. We should not have to keep reinventing the wheel and expect that we're going somewhere. All right. So I leave you with that thought. So join us tonight for Bible study. Join us next week for Financial Matters. Why? Because financials matter. Until next time, may God's richest and greatest blessings be yours. Peace.